Have you ever felt like you're living in a world that isn't quite real? Like you're only seeing a fraction of the bigger picture? This feeling isn't new. In fact, over 2,000 years ago, the ancient Greek philosopher Plato described this exact sensation in a powerful story known as the allegory of the cave. Imagine a group of people who have lived their entire lives chained inside a dark cave. They are forced to face a blank wall, unable to turn their heads. Behind them, a fire burns, and between the fire and the prisoners, there's a raised walkway. People walk along this path, carrying objects and puppets. The fire casts shadows of these objects onto the wall in front of the prisoners. For these prisoners, the shadows are not just shadows. They are their entire reality. They give the shadows names, study their movements, and believe them to be the truest form of existence. They know nothing else. Now, what if one of these prisoners were suddenly freed? Imagine the pain as their eyes, accustomed to the dark, are forced to look at the fire. The light would be blinding, confusing. The objects that were cast in the shadows would seem less real than the shadows themselves. The prisoner would likely be terrified and want to retreat back to the familiar, comfortable darkness of the wall. Their entire understanding of the world has been shattered. But let us say this freed prisoner is guided out of the cave and into the world above. At first, the sunlight is overwhelming. They can only look at shadows, then reflections in water, and finally at the objects themselves. Eventually, they can gaze upon the moon and the stars at night, and at last, the sun itself. They realize the sun is the source of light, the cause of seasons, and the power that illuminates the true world. They understand that what they saw in the cave was merely a faint, distorted imitation of this brilliant, vibrant reality. Filled with this incredible new knowledge, the prisoner feels a duty to return to the cave and share the truth with the others. But what happens when they go back down? Their eyes, now used to the sunlight, can barely see in the dimness. They struggle to identify the shadows on the wall. The other prisoners would think the journey outside had ruined their sight and made them foolish. If the freed prisoner tried to unchain them and lead them into the light, the others would likely resist, perhaps even violently. They would cling to their familiar shadows, mistaking their prison for a safe haven. Plato's allegory is more than just a story. It's a powerful metaphor for our own journey of learning and enlightenment. The cave represents our everyday world, filled with opinions and beliefs we accept without question. The shadows are the superficial things we perceive through our senses. The journey out of the cave is the difficult path of intellectual discovery and philosophical thinking, a quest to understand the true nature of reality. It challenges us to ask, what are the shadows in our own lives? Are there beliefs or assumptions we hold on to simply because they're familiar? The allegory suggests that true knowledge requires courage, the courage to question what we see, to step out of our comfort zones, and to face the blinding light of truth, even when it's difficult. It is a timeless reminder that there is always more to reality than what first meets the eye. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the mind of Plato. If you found this story thought-provoking, please hit that like button and subscribe for more explorations into the big ideas that shape our world. See you in the next video.